Ready? Yo.
Yo.
Welcome back.
What's happening?
We here. Another week of the Stay Dangerous podcast. You already know what time it is.
At Stay Dangerous Podcast, all platforms.
All platforms. Share, like, subscribe, follow, all that shit.
Subscribe.
Man, how you feeling, bro?
I feel good, man.
Yeah.
I feel good. I feel blessed, man.
It's giving it's like a Spike Lee. If I saw you right now, I'd be like, this nigga produces movies.
Yeah, the hat make me get into the production
it's like you
vibe,
sit
right?
next to Spike at the courtside at the Knicks game. And the Jordan's appropriate for that, though.
Yeah, no, man. I'll be get to the fit check, but I see these young boys selling this shirt. I'm like, I got a cop for these dudes, man.
Word.
What about you, man? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Shit, chilling, energized, ready to tackle the day. Having fun. Glad my nigga in town and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, feeling good. You know what I mean? Just ready to get to it. And another episode, kind of just like on this one, I wanted to like really get into. I've been just observing, doing the shit I do, and looking around and kind of just seeing like, really wanted to hone in on, do we know what we're actually doing out here? What are we doing?
The answer is no.
Yeah, word. Everybody is freestyling, so yeah, the answer is no, for sure. But are we moving with intention? What are we actually living for? You know what I mean? Like shit that really inspired that is kind of, you know what I mean? I'm looking at this AI shit a lot. I'm looking at, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking at AI a lot. I'm looking at capitalism, money shit. I'm looking at just the dynamics and a lot of the subjects that we've talked about. People are with their family, friends, and really what is it that we are striving to get? What is it that we are really trying to accomplish out here? Are we just living for thrills and likes? And what is this shit adding up for? If we get all the likes, if we get all the money, if we get all the whatever we chasing, what are we trying to do? What are we living for? What's actually fulfilling us? You know what I'm saying? So I really wanted to kind of hone in and see if we could get to some type of common ground and understanding more so of like, yo, what are we really living for? What do we really care about out here? You know what I'm saying? Like,
but all right, I'll go there with you. But what if the answer is, yeah, we are living for thrills and likes?
Then that's fine. That's fine.
Is it fine?
No, it's not fine with me. It's not. That's not a we thing. If there's people that is living, but even that, if somebody was telling me that, I don't believe that, because you say you living for thrills and likes, but what is it about the thrill and like that's feeding you? That is the deeper question. That's the you just living to get your ego fulfilled. You living to have a bunch of people's approval, et cetera, but there's always something in there that why you're striving for that, and what is it for to do what? I know a lot of people on the money chase right now. All right, well, what if somebody just drop a big bag of money that you've been chasing all your life for right now? What you finna do tomorrow? You know what I'm saying? I don't think a lot of niggas got an answer to that question. Who you about to spend your time with tomorrow? What does that look like for you once this fake game that we all caught up in? You know what I'm saying? Once the dust settles.
I will say this. I've been seeing a lot of creators on social media, and I've been wondering, like, to what end?
To what?
Because I kind of see them move from, like, you know, trend to trend, platform to platform, and sometimes it starts off in like, I'm building a community around X, be it what sneakers, natural hair, whatever it is that you started doing, fashion, and then at some point it just becomes follow me in the day in the life, and then I'm like hopping on these dance trend. Like I followed you for fashion, and now you're doing TikTok dances. Like, but what is it that's moving you? Like, I always tell people I can't shop in big stores because I need to know the store's point of view on the world, so I can understand why I go to them and what for and when. So that's why I always do like smaller boutiques.
Right.
I understand this boutique's point of view on what they think is dope, so that's why I go to them. I see a lot of these creators, I don't understand your point of view, why you're doing the things you're doing. Where's your taste coming through in this? Because I just see you hopping on the latest audio, the latest trend. And so that's been frustrating me a little bit of like, what am I supposed to even receive from you as a you're a creator. You've labeled yourself a creator. From your creations, how am I supposed to be moved? I don't understand that. So that has been feeling empty to me. As
do you think they're able to answer that? Because that's the thing, is I don't think they're able to answer that question. That's kind of the episode where like this the seed that I'm trying to plant. Like, y'all hope that these things are being thought of, because I think if you was to ask a creator, what are you doing this for? They followers, likes, to build a platform, whatever sounds good, but what the fuck does that mean?
Well, yeah, because everybody's building a platform to build their brand so they could whatever, blah, blah, like the step, the step, the step. So that's the your capitalism thing, maybe. But I honestly think, so I'm pro-creator. Everybody knows that I am, not everybody may not know, but I'm all for creatives and creators. I built my wellness practice around creatives and athletes for a reason. And I love that social media has democratized creativity in a way that's like everybody can create things. But I don't think it's prepared people from the standpoint of training. And when I say that, I don't think people have a purpose to their creativity, and it shows because people don't have a sense of urgency in the stuff that they're creating or a point of view with it. But I don't think people have, when I say training, not just technical training, training in the references. There's a reason why you like what you like. It references this other thing that calls back to this thing that's built on these proportions, that's built on this composition, all this stuff, even musically, right? Like this note makes you feel this way and then it gets resolved in this way. There's a reason why it evokes this emotion. People who aren't trained in that and just was like, yo, I can create videos on my phone now. This is dope. They may not even know why they like the stuff that they like. So they're not able to recreate it. You know what I mean? They're not able to have that intention of how it should be received because they just, it's no fault of their own, but I don't think a lot of people can answer. I don't blame them for it though, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, word. I don't think that, I don't think we there. Like, I don't know, bro. I don't know.
That may be off topic from what you.
Yeah, no. It's like all of this is in the same, you know what I'm saying, the same note. Like I'm looking at, because it's creativity, so it's like, when I bring up a thing like AI or something like that, where it's like, okay, so now they're dabbing into, we don't need people to create music. We can just make the music artificially, right? But for what? You know what I'm saying? Like, why? Oh, I get it from the business standpoint that you're trying to save money on costs and to make even more money. Y'all wasn't making enough before. Y'all want to make even more money, which is another question I got for y'all, but okay.
Well, they start getting cut out a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Artists start making some money. Start getting tight.
Yeah, exactly. But, okay, there's enough money for everybody to go around, but you want to monopolize and take over the whole industry. Cool. But, okay, for what? Now TikTok sounds and songs are trending that are 30 seconds long, that are just a remake of this song sped up, and so are we losing the art now? You know what I'm saying? Is it, if we putting it, how far are we out from a fully AI generated artist becoming an artist? You know what I'm saying?
What you mean, how far out? That happened.
Well, for real?
Well, remember it got canceled? Yeah.
No, they tried it. Yeah, they tried it for sure. And it's just like, bro, I heard this, you know what I'm saying? I'm hearing Drake on crazy song. I'm hearing anybody voice you could put to anybody's
remember
song.
last month when they put Drake on Munch?
On the Munch. That's very appropriate, though. That's very appropriate. But it's just like, yo, so what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? It's like, and I used to be this nigga that's all for progress and tech advancement.
Yeah, I'm a futurist myself.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, used to be like really all for that, but now I'm getting to the point where I'm looking like, bro, where is this shit going, fam? Where are we going with this? I don't think there's no end game mindset like, oh, we can do this now. That's cool for 1 second, but how the fuck is faking a voice and faking an image of somebody about to?
Again, what do people connect to in the music right now? Well, people, what it seems like from the outside looking in, a lot of these quote unquote hits are going places because people can create a choreographed dance to them that other people will recreate, right? Mm-hmm. Like these trending audios and all this stuff.
It ain't about the song at all.
Well, I was gonna say it's not about the artist at all. It is about the song, but I don't care about the story. Like, I love Coi Leray's story, but the trending audio that she has, that song that's been going, everywhere. Yeah. that has nothing to do with her story, right? So like, oh, a robot could have done that. And I think that's the thinking of like a executive. Like, I listen to music for the people that make the music, their story and what they bring to that. Be it the way that their story makes them play their instrument, an example of like a Miles Davis or somebody like that, or like, I mean, it's a classic. Like, you get shot up, you sign a record deal, you,
that's
50 Cent,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying,
it's
whatever.
The story
like,
that is
people
connecting the
figure,
people to your music. Nipsey is not just a voice and that nigga spit. No, it's the story. It's this kid from here done this,
faced this, overcome this. It's a hero's journey situation that you can't replace and fake. So yeah, I don't.
And that's the real. You know what I'm saying? That's the real. So,
but that's the reason why I go sit down and listen to somebody's album. But there's not a lot of people going to sit down and listen to somebody's album because people don't care about the stories anyway anymore.
So what niggas care about right now?
I will not be put on the stand. It's made to vouch for these
like,
niggas.
Yo, it's like, this is what inspired this shit. It's like, yo, if you don't care about the artist no more, we don't care about the person, we don't care who even wrote this shit because it's ChatGPT and you just plugged it in here. So now we faking cover letters on resumes, we faking this, we faking that, and cool. But for what, my nigga?
And this whole thing about progress, bro. I am pro progress, but you niggas can't handle progress because you couldn't take just the tool and just let it be what it's made for. You like, how can I stretch it to replace niggas? Like, oh, see,
you want to replace that? That's the path we headed.
Okay, so there's this world where you feel like everything is becoming void of realness, emotion. Do you feel like it's universal or one of those silent majority, loud minority things? Like, do you feel it when you're walking around or just on Instagram?
Yeah, I do, bro.
Okay.
I do feel this shit walking around. You know what I'm saying? Even just observing of just like, do I see, obviously the way the youth and everybody interact.
The youth, them.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like the way they interact, and I don't expect to go out and see 10 kids riding a bike and going spot to spot all the time. I still do see it, and it makes me happy when I see it, but it's like, oh, they're not interacting in that way. Y'all interacting.
You the curmudgeon old man talking about kids don't play outside no more?
You said what?
You the curmudgeon old man talking about kids don't play outside no more?
Word. Some like it, you know what I mean? Whereas it's like, y'all just online. That's cool. And that's cool. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in that. I'm a millennial, so I grew up in that. I seen it, how it all come to fruition too. But it's like, but what's lacking is that real connection. What's lacking is that real experience that no matter what fucking technology come out, you can't replicate a heart and a soul, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, once that comes out, I walk outside and I don't see as many pleasant interactions. I see people that are awkward, that are socially awkward, that are hard to talk to, that don't know what to talk about, that just distract yourself with the phone real quick. You know what I'm saying? But to what avail? What are we consuming on the phone? Oh, whatever the algorithm dictates for you that day, that's just what you're looking at. I'm a victim of this myself. You know what I'm saying? I know how it affects me. I see how I catch myself out. Like, what the fuck am I been looking at, bro? For what the fuck?
Yeah. So I'm listening to you speak, and I'm like, well, a few things. One, I think we both identified Gen Z seems to be really in tune with their emotion, even given the technological sort of advancements that we're in, and they seem to be have a high level of emotional intelligence about themselves and their peers, where they can communicate about it. Does seem like they're.
Do you think that translates to the real world?
No, I only know it from the real world. I don't have a lot of Gen Z people on my social, so I can't really speak to that.
Okay.
Music-wise, I guess I hear some of it, but yeah, I'm talking real world stuff.
Okay. No, because I've kind of even thought about it, at least from the stance of like, where I hear Gen Z, I hear the rhetoric online, but I think that's for viewership. You know what I'm saying? Where like, it shit do sound good, but I don't think y'all living like that. I really don't.
I think so. I mean, I'm talking to, friends who have mentor or mentees in that space, or, you might have a nephew or niece in that age bracket. And those are the conversations I'm going off. Even like a young boy, like you hear there's some things you couldn't articulate it in this depth if you didn't understand these feelings. You know what I mean? So I do think there's some realness to it.
I feel that.
So I think that has to be making people sad to be so aware of yourself in one moment and then so torn and drawn to this thing that's so fake, meaning like social media and the algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
So then it got me thinking like, well, is the onus on the people, or is technology taking advantage of the way that we're wired as humans? You know what I mean? Like, somebody saying I'm doing this for the likes or for the whatever we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
It's something about dopamine that's like chemical, right? Like being taken advantage of to where people are acting like addicts. And I'm not one to addict shame. You know what I mean? Like addiction shame is like I understand that you may not know why you're coming back to this app every day. But that's just is what it is.
So is it just like we just on the road till we crash out on the shit?
That's everything. We're on every road until we crash out.
Until we crash
like
out.
I don't think that our society has shown an aptitude for self-correction in any capacity.
Yeah, as a group, self-correction is not getting done at all.
No, I think the Cold War was maybe the ones that were like, all right, don't blow this whole thing up.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't think we're really good at that.
That's just as like it's something that weighs on me though, like because I feel
good episode of the year right here.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah, bro. And I'm not trying to be like this dystopian, like, oh my God, the world's ending, like, but I'm just trying to be like, all right, cool. But when I speak to people, when I see people doing for entertainment, for fun, the whole shit when you go out, niggas, it's just phones. You go to the club, nobody's dancing. I've heard that rhetoric a million times. Nobody dancing no more. We just in the phones. We just sporting events, concerts, where it's just, bro, you just recording this nigga, you here, fam.
Okay, yes, 100%.
So you, but then there's also what?
So here's a self-correction piece of it. Maybe I'll stand corrected even by myself. But then there's people who started saying, okay, fine, no phones at the concert. Okay, fine, this party is no phones allowed. So I think people are correcting in that way. At the same time this is rising, the mental health about being present and like all that movement is rising at the same time too.
That's a fact. It's just history repeats itself, so it's like it do come back. It's that nostalgia, it's the same thing in a fashion world. You know what I'm saying? Where the fashion come back, it's like, oh, that old shit gonna come back. You know, niggas rocking around with the camcorders and shit now too. Like I seen a lot of Gen Zers holding the old JVC camcorder on them and shit. Like,
shout out JVC.
Yeah, where like, oh yeah, you want that old look and that old nostalgic feel back. You want that real. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that is a thing too, where it's like, how HD is too HD?
Word.
Like the camera that they use, the 8K camera that they use, like in between plays or going to commercial on NFL games, it's so real. It's surreal. It looks like a video game. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, we've gotten too far. Let's go back a little bit.
Go back a little bit. Chill out. We don't need. What are we ever content? Is society ever fucking content with anything?
Well, so okay, I might have talked about this on another episode, so forgive me. And if not, it's probably a good thing to like go back on anyway. But there's this philosophy based in the East that's basically like happiness is better than pleasure. But social media and everything is sort of like playing on our pleasure hormones, right? And so you ask like to what end, but it's actually there is no end when it comes to how pleasure is experienced in our body. So dopamine is this chemical neurotransmitter or hormone, right? But it is people think of it as the reward hormone or the reward neurotransmitter. But the more I read about it, the more I understand it to be actually the neurotransmitter or the hormone of chasing, not reward. Right? So it's like you're chasing reward, but it's activated by the chase.
It's activated by the chase.
So,
because when you get the reward, bro,
so that's why you say like, oh, I'm chasing the money. What if you had it tomorrow? I don't know what I'll do because the actual thing that was keeping me going was the chase.
There you go.
And so it's a thing that's about being active. It's a very young energy. It's about like going after it, going after it, going after it. Whereas serotonin is about stillness, being still, and actually existing in sort of like the contentment piece of happiness of like, I'm just here, I'm present. But there's not a lot of money to be made with people being still.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like there's not a lot, I wouldn't, if I'm big tech, I'm not designing an app around people not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so there's not, and then not to say there's no money to make. You get a subscription-based people to, this all these meditation apps and stuff like that. But overall, you need people to be buying stuff, going places, making content, doing stuff, and constant. And that's what the algorithm is giving you when you scroll. It's like, this was good. Let's see what's next. Like, not this was good. I'm glad I signed on here. Let me get up out of here. That was great.
Yeah.
What's next?
What's next?
What's next? What's next? I don't like that one. Fuck it. What's next? You know what I mean? Like it's built to do that. And it's manipulating that. Like there's documentaries about how it's been specifically built to take advantage of that. So I can't get mad at everybody.
Do you think it's a generational thing too? Because I'm looking at it like, all right, so yeah, Gen Z doing all this right now. But what happened when Gen Z is 35, 40? I don't think y'all are still moving like that. Or do you think that they do? They're just like, oh, that's what they know. So they will be moving like
Moving like what exactly?
Phones out everywhere, TikTok dances, or whatever's current at that time.
They said this about millennials, and I see plenty of millennials out at 35 glued to their phone.
Yeah.
So I don't.
You think so then it just come with it. That's just what society is. You don't think, like I'm saying, like because you're saying like when you're young, that's the chase. But when you get older, you're more still. So
but I didn't put an age on it necessarily.
Okay.
I said it's a yang energy.
Yeah.
Not young energy.
Oh,
yang.
Okay.
Yang meaning like yin and yang.
Got you,
so yang being more active, yin being more still.
Got you.
But I don't think it's an age-based thing. I think it's a personality-based thing. I think it's where you're at in your life. There is some age components to it. Like when you're young, you live in the city, you're moving around, you move to the suburbs, you're more still. Like there's those type of elements. But I still see a lot of older people chasing, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I think social media makes it easier to chase. You don't have to move from the bed to wake up every morning and start your mind on like, what's next? That
motherfucking, the shit, they had that was big for a long time, that they finally don't let loose because capitalism just running free now is gambling. Casino, sports betting, everything. So now it's you could bet on every second of every single game via your phone. You know what I'm saying? I know so many niggas that's caught up in either sports betting or the casino.
Another crazy
lifestyle.
like dopamine.
Yeah, just dope. And I had to talk to my man the other day about it. And I'm like, bro, there's nothing you can do, and you can't win. There's no winning, bro. Like every day you're going to the next chase. If you win this big bet today, you're betting tomorrow again, and you betting the next day.
It's not the reward.
That's
what I mean. It's not the
money
reward.
Doesn't matter, fam. So I'm trying to get to niggas that like, yo, please ask yourselves what really matters to you, because if it's just this chase, because the dopamine hit cool, but in games like that, it's also a low to it too. when you start losing, when you start feeling bad, or when them likes not hitting like they used to.
I see the same thing. All right. Okay, so I want to ask you a little bit more about what you're living for and how you found purpose in this world. But first, you got a fire-ass fit on today. We got to get into the fit check. I fucks with the fit today, brother.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I kick it off there for sure, man. Appreciate that too. Got the grills in today, top set. Plain tea here. This is Rick. I had a
Rick tea?
Yeah, this is a Rick tea. I had
a plain tea.
I had a store credit that I forgot about for like 6 months. Went up in there like, yeah. I need
from the silver joints?
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah. Bought a pair of pants.
Word, that means I got a store credit somewhere. Because I bought something that week that I didn't like, that I need to go. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, for sure. Pants, I gotta take you by this store. I got these fried rice.
Oh yeah.
I gotta take you by this store. Pants go crazy. So I got them like scrunched up right now, but they could go wide leg crazy too.
Oh, word! I'm just now peeping that the bungees aren't the same color.
Yeah,
there's some red, some orange.
Yeah, some red, some orange. That really caught my eye too. I don't really have like nothing that pop like that. So
that's just
yeah, you know what I'm saying. And then, man, feet came with the 993s, and I know my niggas back home in the DMV laughing their ass up like, oh, this nigga done changed up, boy. Hey, these are DMV staple.
DMV
boy.
staple.
Staple, boy. You ain't from the DMV, you ain't even had no pair of these.
That's a dope boy staple back in the day,
boy,
too.
Any nigga, but boy, I used to cook niggas for wearing these in 6th grade, 7th grade. Hey, them shit's ugly as hell. Give niggas all type of shit. Y'all not fly this and that. So y'all go ahead and get y'all shit off on me now. But you know what I mean?
Yo, I remember when I moved to the DMV, I didn't see the vision.
I did. Yo,
it didn't match the era to me, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's what it was. The era, bro. Yeah. It was like, yo, this is Jordan's basketball sneaker time. Like these New Balances looking nuts, my nigga.
But what I learned in the DMV is, as long as it's 200 and up, it's official shoeing. You can wear like all the Tim Duggins and shit we thought was ugly, like all that shit. So it all went together with that. Like, oh, it's just the cost of it make it fly to y'all, but to me, it's not no ill nigga shit.
And you know what's funny about the DMV that I don't notice in many other regions? The DMV is this funny thing with fashion where if niggas is wearing it, every nigga wears it. And if you're not wearing it, if y'all don't all look the same, you're the whack nigga. You know what I'm saying? So when it was New Balance, and this be cheap, I remember niggas rocking Old Navy hoodies and stuff. You have to have that shit or you whack. So every nigga gonna have the same sneakers on as you, but that's the cool thing to do.
Yeah.
The originality is not.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's different.
Being not like, obviously I've lived there, but not raised there and like existing in that, I never really noticed. Well, maybe.
Trust me.
But you know, I worked up against the wall, so I seen what niggas was putting on.
Boy, I'm talking about every nigga through all the trends. Niggas coming with the Old Navy hoodie with the gloves on, with the Michael Jackson. Like, hey, if you don't got that, you whack. You know what I'm saying? Don't matter what you got on, you don't got that shit, you whack. So, but I don't notice that in other regions and shit. But man, how you coming, bro? I fucks with that T heavy.
Yeah, man. I'm very calm, very chill. I mean, you know, I'm always chilling.
Director vibes, you know what I'm saying?
I definitely got the director vibe. I didn't even know I had these glasses on. Yeah, I need them. Gucci frames as usual.
Mm-hmm.
This hat, actually a dope story, man. So I got this hat. It's a Pata hat. Like, I feel like people know that brand, but I got it. It's a Amsterdam brand, and I got it in Amsterdam, but I got it at this dope festival. Shout out Amber, man.
Yeah, I'm about to say shout out Amber.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
My friend from Denver who lives in Amsterdam. I think still lives in Amsterdam. I know. Yeah, well, she might be moving to Rotterdam, but she lives in the Netherlands still.
She building a crib.
She building a crib out there. I just don't know if it's ready. Might be. She's definitely moving there. She might be there already. Is what I meant to say. But anyway, I went to Amsterdam last summer. And I kept seeing the sign for this festival, and I realized like the sign you could just tell is black as hell. I'm like, what's this Kwaku festival? Like, put me on. And she took me out there, like walked through the projects in Amsterdam to get to this festival. And then at the festival, I copped the hat. So it just has like a special, place in terms of the memory and stuff like that. Actually, I got this shirt at a festival in LA. See these young dudes. I hate sneakers. Selling this shirt, and I'm like, yo, MJ with the slugs in, gotta have it.
That was crazy.
I'm gonna cop it again in the biggest size. Not that I like see how it fit on me, but it's a little calm, little joint.
Word. If I didn't know you, I would go buy that tee online, but I can't do it.
Yo, you know what's funny? I got mad the other day that I didn't buy something that you had. I'm like, I don't live in the same city as this nigga. Why don't I just cop this shit? Yeah, because we was together. We got, I ain't buying that shit. I'm like, damn, I need that right now. Actually, I'm tight.
What piece was it?
It was the a pink scarf. Yeah, it was the black one.
Oh, the black one. Yeah. You definitely could have grabbed that.
I should have got that.
I should have got that.
Yeah, word. We gonna have to go back to her meeting and say what's up. She said she got some new joints. We gotta go see what the new scarf is looking like.
I went past there the other day too. That shit was closed. It was closed. Though, yeah,
so you went to go see the scarf lady without?
Nah. I ain't going in.
Pants. These are smock pants. I go to the spot. Shout out to the homies at Mohawk General Store in LA. It's the house brand. The shoes I love, bro. These are my favorite shoes last year.
Word, I ain't never seen them. Boy.
These are Nina Chanel Abney 2s. Shout out Mark, man. He gave me the link for these joints to get it at retail. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out Mark on that.
Yeah, I might have to cut that out and holler at him.
Any
See if he want that out there.
Any nigga give you the link for the retail purchase these days? That's just off the love,
bro. When
boy.
I worked in fashion world or fashion adjacent on the media side, like people have a vested interest in seeing me, you know what I'm saying, keeping me happy with the fashion shit. So niggas throw me a lot of love, man.
That's love.
But Mark was on some real, like, he's just a real dude, show love. Like, I done pulled up to Mark City and he showed love. It wasn't on some, like, industry shit, but just saying in general, you know what I'm saying?
Shout out Mark, man.
Yeah,
sure.
Mark the Better, what up? Yeah, chilling. Pearls.
Fucks with it. Fucks with it. Calm. You left off on mine. Or the...
You've been saying people are living purposeless lives, not knowing why they're doing what they're doing, how it's affecting them, all of that.
I'm not trying to be condescending, I promise I'm not.
No, I think it's just your observation.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're condescending, and maybe my recap, like, painted it.
Dog.
But I'm just curious more about have you found your purpose? Do you feel like you know what you're living for and how you did it?
Yeah, at this point.
How'd you escape the matrix?
Yeah, word. At this point, yeah, I do. I know what I've been able to identify what fulfills me, what makes me happy, what makes me go, what gets me really driven to go do whatever, you know what I'm saying? Versus like just kicking the shit. I used to be the nigga in the club every weekend, you know what I'm saying? I used to be the nigga in the just be on Instagram mindlessly scrolling, and even within social media, I had to look at like, why am I following this person? Why am I looking at their page? What am I getting from this shit? You know what I'm saying?
There's a lot of traps on Instagram.
A lot of traps, yo. I've caught myself I'm only following this person because this person was following them, and I just thought that was the cool thing to do, or et cetera, or it's just like I really had to sit there and examine my behaviors, like, and looking at my screen time at one point was like, yo, I gotta fucking chill, my nigga. Like, this is ridiculous how much time I'm spending on here looking, and I got nothing. I learned nothing today from this shit. I might have saw some shit that made me laugh, and I got a cool little fun fact here and there, and sent some laughs to my niggas, but what else? Like, I spent, 5 hours today on this shit? That's insane. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, bro, I'm off this shit. Like, I'm not off it like where I'm gonna be disconnected, but I'm going to be more intentional about what's on my feed and what I'm looking at, what I'm trying to get out of it, and then just constantly asking myself them questions. But I know that right now, not right now, just me as overall human, what fulfills me is real relationships, is real time with real people, is real is fun, is joy, is like I said on another episode, like my inner child, like that's that shit I'm tapping back into, going outside and just playing, you know what I'm saying, and just walking around and enjoying nature and new experiences and new food and things like that. I'm not doing it for nobody else to see. I do so much more now that the way I live my life now I would have been recording every moment, because I'm always doing some shit where this shit would look dope, you know what I'm saying? And now I find myself pulling my phone out to capture shit less and less and less and less, bro, because I don't give a fuck about...
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't give a fuck about appeasing nobody. I realized, I was doing that because I want niggas to think I'm on some shit. I'm cool, and I want niggas to know that I'm up now. I want niggas to know that this one. I want shorty that just let me to know. You know what I'm saying? Like, this all nonsense, nigga. I'm just doing this shit. My nigga hit me, I might send him a little cool little flick, but I'll probably forget on that. Like, I'm in the moment, dog. I'm living, and that's what fuels me. You know what I'm saying? I love that shit.
Or
when you get out the, was you ever in it? I was in it, my nigga. Like in it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not immune to this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And plus I have like a dopamine deficiency, so when I get a little hit, it's like, oh, I need some. Let's get some more.
I think we was talking about that shit. You was like, yo, I had to get rid of Instagram just cause like once I'm in there, like, I be in there and I catch myself being on that shit too much.
I used to love Instagram when it ended. I don't know if people remember. Your feed used to end. So it's like your feed used to only be what was posted in the last like day or whatever it was.
Word, damn,
I can't remember if it was day or week, but then it was like it would end, and then it would go forever. but it'll still be in chronological order. So you knew you could get back to where you were.
Yeah, you'd be like, word. Then you see the hours, you'd be like, I'm too far back.
Yeah, then you're like, oh, yeah, I already saw this.
Yeah, word.
But then when they switched it where it wasn't by who posted when, because you know, remember Twitter used to just be like straight like that. I don't know if it still is. I haven't been on Twitter forever.
Yeah,
but
straight. They got two separate feeds. They got the For You, which is like the suggested, and then they got your feed. But
your feed is still chronological these days? Okay, yeah. So Instagram was the same thing. It was all chronological.
Word.
Anyway, once it got past that, it got overwhelming for me. But I think I've always been less involved in the, like, just caught up in everything. I've always been kind of in my own world.
What's the like driving factor for you on that? Like, you're a different nigga, and niggas listening to the podcast like them, like, yo, you're a very different nigga than in a lot of aspects of niggas. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, what's the driving factor on the social media tip for you?
Like, why am I on social media, or
why do you handle social media the way you do? You're more disconnected. So is it because that you don't want to be caught up in what everybody else is caught up in?
Well, it doesn't move me. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so there's a few things with that. Like, I don't care. I really don't care. I don't even know who you're talking about. She's dating Blueface? Where's her tooth at? I don't even, who is this person? I just found out about, you know what I mean? Like, why are we, back up. And then I'm like, actually don't back up. I don't care about this story.
I don't give a fuck about this.
It'd be stuff like that where I'm like, I don't give a damn. With material stuff is like, there's always a conflict with it. It's like, why do I care about how many what shoes are coming out, whatever. Like, this is how you miss this stuff. Like, as a person, I was on sneaker sites every day trying to see what's the latest news about this and whatever. Like,
shout out Nike Talk.
Yo, Nike Talk, but even just like all the blogs about whatever's coming out, 23isback.com, figuring out when stuff release.
ISS, all that shit.
Bro, wait. I remember getting one thing that happened to me is I got stuff stolen. So somebody ran into my car in high school, grabbed a hella sneakers and my Letterman jacket and shit, and then I was like, damn. I learned, I had real attachment to that. That hurts. And I stopped being attached to shit as much. That shit happened to me a few times. Like, I left some shit in a apartment past a lease. I had some niggas running my car in DC. Okay, this stuff is leaving, so I really can't afford to be that attached to it. So then it's like, okay, well, why did I like it in the first? Then I can question it because I detached from it. But honestly, I'm just like anybody else where if I get caught up in a thing, like, I'm gonna just keep doing it. I'm gonna just keep on it. I just have the ability to recognize that's what I'm doing, and then I kind of stop. But last year I made this decision that was like, you know what? I'm noticing I'm trending towards seeking pleasure versus happiness. And at the end of the day, I actually want to be happy.
That's a bar.
Yeah, I just like I would rather be happy than have pleasure.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of people who would rather have pleasure than be happy.
I think that's because they don't know what happiness looks like, and they have.
I think it's because not only do they not know what it looks like, because they don't think that they deserve it, and they think that because they don't deserve it, they won't be able to keep it. But pleasure is something that they've noticed that they've been able to continue to be in. So I think that they feel like that's more suited for them.
Sex addictions come in and shit.
Sex addictions, gambling addictions, Instagram addictions, all these things are just like, oh, that feels good. I'm getting this dopamine hit.
Yeah, you can keep doing it too.
Man. But another thing, we talked in another episode about the finances, right? Like, I want to be happy when I'm broke. But I could use this dollar to play these cards right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me get a ticket. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is. Like,
yeah, the lottery is
lottery.
Like, you look at niggas buying the lotto tickets, like, oh, y'all fucked up.
But it's the chase. It's the chase.
It's the chase. And when you buy a lotto ticket, is that the days when the numbers before they hit that you hoping and dreaming, you fantasizing.
Yeah.
You in a fantasy.
Yeah, no, that's a fact too. But for me, like, what I've always been fascinated with the quote unquote natural order of things. I found the universe to be very lawful. There's laws to this shit, and it doesn't really veer from the law.
It always balance out.
And so to be in tune with the law and in accord and in resonance with the law versus in dissonance and discord, that just made more sense to me, to not be fighting against the laws of the universe, to be living my life. And so the universe is always going to tend towards harmony. It's always going to tend towards existing in love and not fear. So my job here as a human being is to figure out how I can be in that place of love, how I can get out of the trap of pleasure and exist in this place of happiness. So some people call what I call pleasure as happiness, and then this other thing as contentment. But however you describe it, right? So it's just like, I think self-awareness is the thing that has made me not engage in the way that others do or have.
Then I want to also ask you then, because you're a father and you have a son that's what, Gen X, or I don't even know what.
I think they're calling it Gen Alpha.
Word. So you got a son. Is that going to be instilled in your son, or are you of the he's his own man, I'm going to let him grow as he needs? Or is this like something that you're gonna hone in on, like, look, bro, don't get lost in this shit, don't get caught up in this shit? Or is it experience, learn, make your mistakes, and this is the generation that you coming up in, I'm gonna let you do you?
It will both be instilled in him, and I will have the trust to let him make his own mistakes because I'm instilling things in him, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no.
So I'm already talking to him about screen time and the effect on the brain, and chasing things versus attracting things. I'm already talking to him about this. He's 6. Some of it is resonating really deeply, and some of it is like, Dad, I just want to watch these videos on YouTube.
Yeah,
like, what are you talking about?
Word.
But I never wanted to wait to drop a gem. You know what I mean, on my son. Like, I word it in a way that it's not overwhelming to him or stress him out, and I'm not trying to preach to him, but I find moments to talk to him about things, and he understands in a way that's like, that surprises me. That makes me let him make his own decisions.
That's fine.
And like small, you know what I mean? And so I can build trust in him, he can build trust in himself. And so I just challenge him to make his own mistakes. Don't make your friends' mistakes for them. Don't get warped or caught into, hey, everybody was doing this, so I'm doing, you know what I mean? Like, if you have in your mind that you want to do something, or you should be doing something, you feel like you would be dope if you, and I don't think that that's the thing to do, go ahead and make that happen. But don't let that be some random person. Like, don't let that be what I was shout out my homie's kid. Don't let that be Nico's thing.
Yeah, word.
Nico's ill though. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
No, that's real. That's real. And I was gonna say that, how do we, I guess, become, is there any like anything that we can give the audience in terms of like becoming self-aware or being more self-aware? Is there a trick to that, or is this just something that because I haven't even identified why I'm self-aware now. I haven't really given that much thought, but do you think that there's a trick, or if there's some type of nuance to this?
Yeah, and I think a lot of people use some of these tricks they may not necessarily identify, but like I see a lot of Catholics, for example, with rosary beads. A lot of people use different, all different type of traditions have different prayer beads, right? I see Buddhists have them. I see, I was practicing Buddhism, and still do. There's a temple I go to in LA, actually, I was there last week. But there's, like I said, rosary, whatever, but it's a thing that can bring you back to being present when you hold it in your hand. That's why people hold them while they chant, because your mind may wander and you like have this tangible thing to bring you back. So there's these things that a lot of people have, like stress balls or jewelry that they fidget with or whatever. But you can give yourself an intention so that every time you touch that thing, you come back to.
That was Oh, my fault, go ahead.
No, there's people remember the WWJD bracelets?
Mm-hmm.
That was definitely one of those moments of like,
word.
am I being self-aware right now, or am I just going with the flow? You know what I mean? Like, I think people do this stuff all the time.
Yeah, you're right. Right.
What were you gonna say though?
Damn, I was about to say, what the fuck I was about to say? I was about to be like, one of my favorite things from the Gen Z is go touch some grass.
Go touch some grass.
Go touch some fucking grass, my nigga. Go outside and just enjoy your day.
So like, you know, if you get into what am I doing, obviously it's a meditation practice. I'm chanting, I'm doing my quantum, all these things that are making me very aware of why I'm reminding myself why I'm living how I'm living on a daily basis, right? But I think for people who that may not be the path for, is very like, you can build something into it. Like you can touch your right ear. And now every time you touch your ear, you think of like, am I being present right now? And when you say, am I being present? Am I fully aware of everything that's happening, or am I just going with the scrolls? Is my thumb just moving? You know what I mean? There's little things that people do. I used to do this too. Use your non-dominant hand to be on Instagram. So you have to constantly be thinking about. It requires more mind, right, to be doing stuff. Like there's little tricks for sure.
I like that. That's a good one right there. I'm gonna use that. I'm glad I asked that question. I'm really glad I asked that because I'm like, oh shit, left hand. All right, yeah, I can fucks with that.
Your mind has to work a little bit harder to do things left-handed, so you have to be more present with it, right? I don't recommend cooking with knives with it, but you know, like a lot of little stuff you can do left-handed, and you'll be more present for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, I promise I'm not. The audience is listening. I'm never trying to be condescending by saying that. I think we out here living without purpose. I think a lot of us is just running around going with the flow because I've been that person. Anything I slander, anything I attack, anything that I speak on, I've been. So I'm just trying to, you know, really, really get us locked in, really get us more focused and more aligned on what we really want to accomplish, what we really want out of this life that's not just Blueface and Krishan. You know
is that her name? Sorry. Shout out Krishan. My bad.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but I had teeth knocked out too. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no. But I just didn't know who this person was.
The word. We ain't never on this podcast. We ain't never speaking on no shit out of non-experience. You know what I'm saying? I've experienced everything.
No, yeah. Actually, that's good you said that because that's by design.
Yeah.
If ever we feel like we're not qualified to talk about something, we go do some research on it. We bring in some like, hey, this stat is out here, whatever it is, just to like figure out how to orient something if it's not off personal experience, because we don't want to be out here blowing smoke. Like it's think podcasts just talking shit for no reason.
Blowing smoke all day, bro. Nah, already, man. But I appreciate the convo and shit, man. I think we did what we need to do on this one.
Yeah, what we need to do, bro.
Man, came in here. Appreciate your time on this shit as always, my nigga.
Man, you as well.
You know,
I love the game.
I love the game. I love the hustle. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it, man. I appreciate all y'all tuning in, man.
Yeah, shout out our listeners, man.
Yeah, we're gonna catch y'all next week. I love you, my nigga.
Love you, my nigga.
Stay dangerous, y'all.
Stay dangerous.
Hey.